If we can all be seated, please, so we can begin.
Present something at the end, right?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Nasty. I'm chair of the Stony Brook Council, and on behalf of the council and Stony Brook University, I want to welcome you all to Stony Brook on this rainy day. But as I said to Dr. Stanley and his family 34 years ago when I entered this university as a freshman, the weather was very similar, and I stayed, so he's going to have to stay. We are so proud of the fact that Dr. Stanley has been unanimously endorsed by the State University of New York Trustees as our next president. And I must say that their vote of confidence in Dr. Stanley is well placed. We conducted a 7-month, very rigorous, intensive, and extensive national search for our next president, and certainly Stony Brook University deserves no less. And we saw a number of extremely qualified and superb candidates. But at the end of the day, we came to the conclusion that Dr. Samuel Stanley was the best person to lead us into the future. So I want to thank a number of people who played a very important role in this process. First, I want to thank the State University of New York Trustees for coming to Stony Brook University today. We do not take it for granted the kind of effort that they put in and the work they put into the State University to make it as great as it is. They travel the state day in and day out, the 64, 65 campus with the Levin Institute, throughout the state, and they spend an inordinate amount of time and effort, and their ultimate reward and compensation is building a terrific state university system. And dare I say, you know, we don't like to, the State University doesn't like to use the F word, Chancellor's info, but flagship. We consider ourselves to be the flagship of the system, and the more you get to know us, Chancellor, the more you'll get to understand that. I want to thank, in addition to the SUNY Board of Trustees, I want to recognize Chancellor Zimfer. She officially starts June 1st, but she officially started the day she was confirmed by the State University Board. She is going to be just a terrific, terrific chancellor. The relatively small amount of time that I've spent with her since she's been confirmed on this search, she has been nothing but responsive, supportive. The calls that we had, that Jim Simons and Rich Gelfond and I and others on the search committee had with Chancellor Zimfer, her basic response was, how can I help you? How can I be a partner? How can I empower Stony Brook University to do what it needs to do? And she just did a tremendous job for us, and we are so proud that this is her first appointment as Chancellor, Dr. Samuel Stanley. I also want to recognize John O'Connor, my friend John O'Connor, Officer in Charge, Vice Chancellor, for his tremendous effort. He's been involved day in and day out. To start out the program, I really would like to introduce the chair of the SUNY Board. He is a man of distinction. He has spent a good part of his career, his latest stint has been chair of the SUNY Board, but he's had a number of important roles in education over the course of his distinguished life in public service. And he led this appointment through the process, the SUNY process, hopefully and rightfully. I don't think there was much controversy given our candidates' credentials, but our job was to make it as easy as possible for Chairman Hayden to get our candidate through. So, Chancellor Hayden, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, Rick. Let me start by saying that I had the privilege today of meeting President Emeritus Marburger. And that was a joy because that was his tenure was one of Stony Brook's foundational events, and I think set the course. Shirley Strum-Kenny has been an extraordinary, transformative president. And Shirley, we're so grateful for your hospitality today and for your years of service and what you have done. To make Stony Brook a truly great university. That is beautiful and so richly deserved. I must tell you that it feels quite wonderful to come to a SUNY event where everyone is happy. It's nothing to do with a budget. We found ourselves an extraordinary world-class leader. We have at last a moment to celebrate. And the reason that we do is the extraordinary work of a search committee headed by Rick Nasty, Rich Gelfond, and Jim Simons. And if someone can point me in the direction of a more powerful troika than that, then I will willingly suspend all disbelief. This has been a search that was so thoughtfully prepared, so beautifully executed, and one that I think represents the standard for what a research ought to look like when what is at stake is the future of a great research university. So, gentlemen, to you and your colleagues, my great thanks. I want to thank my colleagues, the Board of Trustees, who on very short notice suspended all activity to make their way to Long Island this afternoon. I see Carl Weisalis, Jerry Warren Merrick, Mike Russell, Bob Bellafiore, and there may be, have we any up here? No. Thank you so much. It not only is it practically important from the perspective of the University, of Stony Brook, and Dr. Stanley, but I also think it's symbolically important just to let you all know how crucially important the welfare and the future of this great institution is to this board. And then finally, this is the first appointment of a brand new chancellor, Nancy Zimpher. She does not start until June the 1st, but as you can see, she's already in high gear. And if all of your labors result in this level of excellence, ma'am, we're going to have a very happy tenure. So, ladies and gentlemen, to continue these proceedings, I'd like to introduce Dr. Nancy Zimpher, the Chancellor of the State University.